What if I told you that right now, as you're watching this video, there's an 80% chance your body is silently preparing for diabetes? And the concerning part, many people don't realize this process is happening. You could have perfect blood sugar levels, feel completely healthy, and still be on a direct path to becoming diabetic within the next few years. I'm about to share insights about a widespread health pattern that's affecting 8 out of 10 people watching this video right now. Many standard tests don't catch it in its early stages, and by the time it's detected, significant changes have already occurred. But here's the good news. Once you understand what I'm about to show you, you can stop this process dead in its tracks and even reverse years of damage. The shocking truth. Let me start with something that will blow your mind. Diabetes doesn't just appear overnight. It's actually the final stage of a process that's been happening in your body for years, sometimes even decades. And here's what nobody talks about. All those seemingly unrelated health issues you might be experiencing. They're actually early warning signs that your body is losing the battle against sugar. That stubborn belly fat that won't budge no matter what you do. That's your body storing excess sugar as fat. Those weird skin tags appearing on your neck or underarms. That's excess insulin causing your skin cells to multiply rapidly. Dark patches of skin around your neck, armpits, or groin. That's called acanthosis nigricans, and it's a direct result of insulin resistance. High blood pressure. Your blood vessels are being damaged by constant sugar spikes, constant fatigue, especially after meals. Your cells are becoming resistant to the very hormone that's supposed to give them energy. Even that tingling in your hands and feet, that's early neuropathy, nerve damage from sugar toxicity. But here's the kicker. When you go to your doctor with these symptoms, they run a basic blood sugar test, and when it comes back normal, they may tell you everything looks fine from a glucose perspective. However, there might be other factors at play that standard tests don't measure. Understanding insulin resistance. Here's what's really happening inside your body and why this process often goes undetected in early stages. You have 2 key players in this story: glucose, which is sugar in your blood, and insulin, which is the hormone that moves that sugar into your cells for energy. Now, imagine insulin as a key, and your cells have locks. In a healthy person, insulin easily opens these locks, sugar gets into the cells, and everyone's happy. But here's where things go wrong. Most of us start our day with a sugar bomb. We're talking about your healthy breakfast cereal, your whole grain toast, your morning muffin, even that seemingly innocent orange juice. Your blood sugar shoots up, and your pancreas frantically pumps out insulin to deal with it. Then, a couple of hours later, you have a snack. Maybe it's a granola bar or some crackers, another sugar spike, another insulin surge. Lunch comes around, sandwich, pasta, rice, more carbs, more insulin. Afternoon snack, dinner, maybe even a late night treat. We're literally battering our cells with insulin all day long. What happens next is like constantly knocking on someone's door. Eventually they stop answering. Your cells become insulin resistant. They start ignoring insulin's signal. So your pancreas thinks, I need to knock louder, and starts producing even more insulin. Now here's the crucial part that standard tests might miss. Your blood sugar might still look normal because your pancreas is working overtime, pumping out large amounts of insulin to manage that sugar. But those elevated insulin levels aren't typically measured in routine checkups. The hidden symptoms. So how do you know if this is happening to you? Your body is actually sending you clear signals, but you need to know how to read them. First, you're constantly hungry, especially for carbs and sweets. This isn't a willpower problem, it's a hormonal problem. High insulin levels are literally blocking your body's ability to burn stored fat for energy, so you're stuck in a cycle of constant hunger and sugar cravings. You can't lose weight, especially around your midsection, no matter how little you eat or how much you exercise. That's because insulin is your body's fat storage hormone. When it's chronically elevated, losing weight becomes nearly impossible. You feel exhausted after meals, especially carb-heavy ones. This should be when you feel energized, but instead, you want to take a nap. That's because your cells aren't getting the energy they need, despite having plenty of sugar floating around in your blood. Brain fog is another major sign. You can't think clearly, you forget things, you feel mentally sluggish. Your brain is one of the most energy-hungry organs in your body, and when it's not getting proper fuel due to insulin resistance, cognitive function suffers. For women, you might notice hair thinning, adult acne making a comeback, irregular periods, or difficulty getting pregnant. These are all signs that insulin resistance is throwing your other hormones out of whack. Men might experience low energy, decreased muscle mass, increased belly fat, or issues with sexual function. Again, this is all connected to the hormonal chaos that insulin resistance creates. Now, before we go any further, I want to make something crystal clear. Everything I'm sharing with you in this video is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not diagnosing or treating any medical condition. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet, exercise routine, or health regimen. If you're experiencing any of the symptoms I've mentioned, please speak with a qualified medical professional. Also, if you're finding this information helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me reach more people with this life-changing information, and I've got so much more to share with you about optimizing your health naturally. The breaking point. Now, let's talk about what happens when this system finally breaks down completely. For years, maybe even decades, your pancreas has been working overtime, pumping out more and more insulin to overcome cellular resistance. But like any overworked organ, it eventually starts to fail. This is the breaking point, when your pancreas can no longer produce enough insulin to keep your blood sugar in the normal range. This is when you officially become type 2 diabetic. But here's the tragedy. By this point, you've likely already lost 50 to 80% of your insulin-producing cells. Think about that for a moment. Many people don't realize there's a developing issue until significant changes have already occurred. It's like waiting until a problem has progressed substantially before addressing it. And once you cross that line into diabetes, you're looking at a lifetime of medications, blood sugar monitoring, and the constant threat of complications like heart disease, stroke, kidney failure, blindness, and amputations. All of this could be prevented if we caught and addressed insulin resistance in its early stages. But here's the empowering truth. Insulin resistance is completely reversible. Your cells can regain their sensitivity to insulin, your pancreas can recover, and you can literally turn back the clock on your metabolic health. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. The solution? Fasting. The first game-changing strategy is something humans have been doing for thousands of years, but modern society has completely abandoned: fasting. Now, before you panic and think I'm asking you to starve yourself, hear me out. When you fast, even for just 12 to 16 hours, something magical happens to your insulin levels. They drop. And when insulin drops, your cells start to regain their sensitivity. It's like giving your cellular locks a chance to reset and start responding to insulin's key again. Think of it this way. If someone's been knocking on your door constantly for hours, you eventually stop answering. But if they go away for a while and then come back, you're much more likely to respond. That's exactly what happens with your cells during fasting. Studies show that even short-term fasting can improve insulin sensitivity by 20 to 30%. Longer fasting periods can be even more dramatic. I've seen people reverse decades of insulin resistance with consistent intermittent fasting. The beauty of fasting is that it costs nothing, requires no special equipment, and works with your body's natural rhythms. You can start with a simple 12-hour fast. Stop eating at 8 p.m. and don't eat again until 8 a.m. That's it. As you get more comfortable, you can extend it to 14, 16, or even 18 hours. But fasting isn't just about when you don't eat. It's also about what you eat when you break your fast. Which brings me to the second crucial strategy. The fiber solution. Here's something that will completely change how you think about food. The form your food comes in matters just as much as what the food actually is. Let me give you a perfect example that demonstrates this principle. Take an apple. If you eat a whole apple, your blood sugar rises gently and gradually. The fiber in the apple slows down the absorption of its natural sugars, and your insulin response is mild and manageable. Now, take that same apple and blend it into a smoothie. Even without adding anything else, Just breaking down the fiber structure causes your blood sugar to spike much higher and faster. Your insulin response is more dramatic. Take it one step further and turn that apple into juice, removing the fiber completely. Now you get a massive blood sugar spike that's almost identical to drinking a can of soda. Same apple, same natural sugars, but completely different effect on your body. This principle applies to everything you eat. Whole grains versus flour, whole fruits versus fruit juice, intact vegetables versus vegetable purees. The more processed and broken down your food is, the harder it hits your blood sugar and the more insulin your body has to produce. So one of the simplest ways to improve your insulin sensitivity is to eat foods in their most whole, unprocessed form possible. Choose steel-cut oats over instant oatmeal, whole fruits over fruit juice, and vegetables that still have their fiber intact. But fiber doesn't just slow sugar absorption. It also feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, and these bacteria produce compounds that directly improve insulin sensitivity. It's like getting a double benefit from every high-fiber meal you eat. Transformation and hope. I want to leave you with this powerful truth. Your body has an incredible ability to heal and regenerate when given the right conditions. I've seen people completely transform their metabolic health using these simple principles. People who couldn't lose weight for years suddenly find the pounds melting off effortlessly. Energy levels that were chronically low suddenly surge back to youthful levels. Brain fog lifts, mood improves, and that constant hunger finally disappears. But the most amazing part is how quickly these changes can happen. Some people notice improvements in just days or weeks. Your body is literally waiting for you to give it the chance to heal. The earlier you start, the more dramatic your results will be. But even if you've been dealing with these issues for years or decades, it's never too late to turn things around. Your health is your most valuable asset, and you have more control over it than you've been led to believe. Take action today. Start with small changes, and watch as your body responds with gratitude. If this video opened your eyes to the hidden epidemic of insulin resistance, please share it with someone you care about. Subscribe for more life-changing health information, and remember, your future self will thank you for every positive step you take today. Your journey to optimal health starts right now. Thanks for watching.